So, Brilliance, your clients do big numbers and obviously they have like huge personal brands. Do I need a lot of followers to sell expensive offers? And the really simple answer to that is no. And I'll explain why in a second. For context, my name is Brilliance and I run Linear Web, and we work with some of the biggest names in the online education, info, and coaching space: Jordan Welch, Near Knowledge, Simon Bees, and we've added over $20 million directly through our funnels. But we also have clients who have no personal brands whatsoever and they're doing some serious numbers with quite expensive offers. And I'll show you exactly how you can do this too and help potentially move you in the right direction. So let's dive in.
So forgive my audio. My mic is absolutely cooked or wrecked. I don't even know what to call it. But again, how to sell expensive offers with no followers. It's way easier than you think. And again, you don't need followers to sell any high ticket offers. And I'll explain why before we even go into how you can actually set up and run the funnels, right? So all of the biggest businesses in the entire world run ads, right? Again, everyone in the coaching info space, like a lot of them think from this organic mind frame, which is still good, like when you're starting out. But again, you have way more advantage when you're running ads. And the reason is because running ads is literally free money. And any huge company that you can think of right now, one way or another, they're spending money on ads, right? So it's non-negotiable if you want to scale your business. Whether you're just starting out, whether you already have a huge personal brand, you need to run ads because it just makes sense. Like the economics just makes sense. It's the only way that you can build a company with longevity and just have a lot more predictable, source of income, which organic traffic can be great. It can be consistent. It's not consistent, right? It's not consistent. You can't say, okay, you can model out how much you're going to make next month based on the views that you get. Like you can't really model it out. There's really no system that I've seen that really does it the way, paid ads can make it work. So the economics just makes sense. If you can spend anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 a month to start out minimum, don't touch it, right? Don't touch ads. Just, get to that. Maybe, if you're below the 30K range, you really shouldn't be touching ads, right? So, but if you can stomach about 30 to 60 days of potential and profitability, you're more than likely to win. Now, am I sitting down here saying, oh, if you can do this for 60 days, you're going to become profitable? Of course not, because there's a lot of people, including I myself, I didn't even get profitable in like 60 days, right? So again, you need to understand that this is a long game. The same way the content is also a long game. Ads are a long game, and you just need to be patient with it, because once you figure out the angles that work for your business and the kind of funnels that are going to work for your business, it's really easy for you to take it from there. But ads are non-negotiable. Listen very carefully. Like whether you have organic right now, whether you don't, ads are non-negotiable. You just go run ads, right? As long as you have the risk tolerance and you have the budget to invest as well, you absolutely need to be running ads. Now, some people are going to ask, don't personal brands make your ad cost cheaper? And yes, personal brands are great. Tell you that, right? I have a personal brand. Most of my clients have personal brands. You get outsized returns with your personal brands, which is great. You don't need to be an expert in marketing to make this work, because you're not selling to cold traffic. You're selling to people who know, like, and trust you, right? But again, if you're running ads to a warm audience, and what we call a warm audience is essentially an audience bucket that is tied to your personal brand, right? So the warm traffic, the people you push traffic to when you post organic content like Reels, Twitter posts, YouTube videos, the people who watch your content and people who follow you, that's what we call the warm audience. If you're selling to those people, you don't really need to do that much in terms of marketing, because they already know, like, and trust you. They've been nurtured by the content that you put out. But eventually, if you're going to run out of your warm audience, so what do you do when you run out of your warm audience? You have to eventually go into code, and it's, code can be tremendous for your business, but you need to understand marketing at a fundamental level. You can't use the same strategies they use for warm. It's not going to work, right? So, and the thing is that a lot of people struggle to sell, once they're past that point, and, the campaigns flop, the funnels fail, and then they think, oh, maybe, my marketing isn't that good. And yes, you're probably right, because the marketing probably isn't that good. You're selling to your warm audience. So again, when you start with paid ads and make it work, you have a huge leverage over people who start with organic, because again, code is way harder than organic. And again, some people might argue for, organic being more difficult than paid, but again, like, it's way more difficult to crack paid than it is organic. So selling to organic audience after you crack paid is like, it's a walk in the park. Like, it's not even funny, right? So again, when you run ads, that's when you build an actual business. Like we mentioned with organic traffic is great, right? It's great. I have a personal brand and I can tell you that. But the thing is that, it's not consistent, right? If you rely on organic traffic, what you're basically saying is that you're okay with unpredictable revenue. As a serious business owner yourself, sitting down here watching this, that's probably not what you want, right? You probably want to build a real business, unless maybe you just want to use, your business right now as a kind of a cash flow vehicle and use that to put it into other investments. You probably want to be able to sell your business, or, be able to do something real with the business, right? So, but you have no idea whether you're going to be up this month, down next month. Like, there's no model to say I can put in X amount of work and get Y back. You just have to be reliant on the algorithm showing your content to the people that you wish it should show it to, right? So you're just sitting there hoping that the algorithm is basically going to show the content to the right type of people. So again, building a sustainable business requires predictable acquisition, which every real company has. That only works with ads, right? You can financially model your ad campaigns. You know what metrics and KPIs that you need to hit to achieve your goals. So it's a no-brainer. It's just do it when you're ready. But again, don't take being ready as, okay, when I get to 500K a month or when I get to 300K a month, even 100K a month, right? 50K a month, you can start running ads, right? You have a bit of money to invest. Obviously, if you have good profit margins, you should start running ads because that's how you're going to scale. It's basically the best way to scale is through ads. Now, how do you actually set up and run the ad? Now, there's multiple steps involved in this, and I'm going to break them down one after the other. And the first one here is going to be a cold traffic optimized offer. If this was a class, I would say raise your hand if you think your offer can be sold to anyone. And a lot of people will raise their hands, but that's simply not true, especially when you're selling to cold traffic. You need to create something that cold traffic actually wants. And what are the characteristics of something that cold traffic wants? Number one is a one-time payment, something that is, just they pay once, they get access to it, and they don't pay any recurring money to your company, right? Number two is it's de-risked. So it's something that is going to be de-risked for the client, maybe offers a specific outcome with like maybe a guarantee or something like, something that just makes it less risky for your client. That's all we're trying to do here. And then it could also be like a setup or installation, or maybe something where you do a sprint type of offer, maybe for 30, 60 days, maybe even less, just depending on what you're trying to do. But usually what we see with these type of offers is that it's usually anywhere from, 14 days setup, maybe a 30-day sprint, or maybe a 60-day sprint, sometimes even a 90-day sprint, right? And then you should have some sort of insurance policy that, if the client doesn't get the results that they want, you're going to be there to help them, just, as a way to ensure that they get the results that they want. People love that because it heavily reduces the risk by just letting them know that, hey, if I run into problems, this person is going to be there for me. So that's another one. And then the other one is going to be reducing the time delay to outcome. So this is the amount of time it takes for your clients to get to the outcome. So the more you can bring that down, the better it is. So that's pretty straightforward. And then the other one is going to be your reduced effort and sacrifice on the front end. So what do they have to do once they come into your ecosystem? Do they have to do a bunch of things or do they not? Right? If they have to do a bunch of things, then it's probably going to be a lower price offer. And people, for the most part, don't want to do too much. Some people want to be partially involved, but they don't want to do the whole thing. So again, the more you can reduce what they have to do, even if they choose to do some things, that's going to help you a lot because people don't really want to go into, especially when you're selling to rich people as well. They really don't want to go in and try to do stuff themselves for the most part. Some people do, but a lot of them don't. Right? And then it should also be something revenue driven. So something that's going to directly add money into their pocket, whether that's by saving time or, making money directly, let's say through a service like ads, for example, right? So that's what you call a cold traffic optimized offer because this is going to affect the performance of your ads, right? And then number two is going to be your diversified ad. So this is after you've made the offer, you need to go in and start scripting. One of the most crucial parts of this entire funnel, again, there's multiple components here, but the ads are definitely like up there in terms of importance. Now, with your ads, what we want to do is we want to create about 15 to 20 different avatars, and that's because right now we want to create 15 to 20 ads. Right? These ads are going to speak to a wide range of problems, situations, pain points, desires, just current circumstances that your clients are in. Because the more you can resonate with these people, the faster you can get them to take action. Right? So this is going to give us access to a wide range of people within our audience bucket, so that we can now tell Meta, hey, this is what I'm saying in this ad. Go find me this person, and Meta is going to go find you that person. Because right now it's all about specificity and also making the ads highly variated. Because Meta is pushing a lot more variation because the platform is essentially a social media platform and they don't want people seeing the same types of ads. And again, Meta has 52,000 data points on every single person on the platform. So do you think they don't know who you want to target? Even if you're trying to get someone to pay you $1 million a month, they know who that person is and they're going to go get you that person. So I've seen the case of, a guy, a real estate investor. My friend was running ads for him quite transparently. And they literally, like in the first campaign that they launched, sold $100,000 offer. It was a real estate offer. I myself in my funnels, I have booked a call with someone doing $40 million a year just because I have the right type of targeting within my ads. And again, targeting has shifted from, you doing things in the ad manager to actually what you say in the ads. Because for the most part, your targeting is really going to be broad. So it's changed a lot. It's a lot easier as well because this is going to help you. You don't need to go in and try to like tweak things, or, demographics and all these things. You just say the right things in the ad, and Meta is going to bring you that type of person because they're trying to make the platform easier and also make it easy for people to make money so that they can in turn make more money. So just keep that in mind. 20 ads because we want to test more, and Meta wants that variation. They don't want to see the same ads, and we've overall just been seeing better results with 20 or more. If you want to go low, go 15. But again, always try to test more. And then we're going to the VSL. And the VSL is simply, a VSL is a video sales letter, if you don't know what that is. And it's a simple, direct extension of what your landing page is. So what you're doing in the VSL is, using the first 60 to 180 seconds to basically reiterate what the offer is, your pain points, the outcomes, and then nudge people to book in a call while giving them some proof as well. Because what's going to happen is not everyone is going to watch VSL. People used to watch VSLs back in the day a lot, right? But now, not a lot of people are watching VSLs. If you're lucky, you get about 30% of people to watch it. On the lower end, it could go as low as 15%. So why not use the prime real estate within your VSL to just push people to book in a call if they want to watch a video? Because what's going to happen to the other, 70% that don't watch the VSL? They come to the page, they feel like this is what they need, they take action. They're not going to watch the VSL. But again, we're having this for the people who think, who want more information. Some people want to consume information that way. They don't want to go read the entire page. So after you give them the offer, then you go in and explain the rest of the offer, give them all of the other information, go through FAQs, etc. Now, what is the next step here? The next step is going to be your automations and your CRM connection. Now, I know a lot of guys that actually have, CRM set up or any of that stuff. And again, it can be a bit complex, but basically what you're going to do is you're going to set up your CRM to track your leads correctly. Because again, follow-ups are so important when it comes to your ads, right? Because a lot of people aren't going to close on the first call, but again, people can, of course, depending on what you're selling and also how good you are at sales. So you're going to set up your CRM to track your leads properly. You're also going to set up your automations for your back-end educational emails that we're going to talk about in a second. And we're also going to set up the conversion API to send high-quality data back to Meta. That is crucial, right? Because Meta is basically like just a huge machine learning algorithm, and it's what you feed into it is what it's going to, it's garbage in, garbage out. Whatever you give it is going to give you back, right? So if you're sending the right type of people, it's going to send you that back. But if you're sending the wrong type of people, then you're going to get a shitload of, people who can't afford what you sell or not even in your target audience whatsoever. Now, your educational emails and your manual follow-up. So we'll go educational emails first. And the educational emails here will take prospects from skeptical, low intent to educated, well-framed and way higher intent. And basically what these educational emails are about, anywhere from 9 to 16 emails, maybe even more depending on the type of offer you're selling and if it requires more education or more trust building. But basically you're breaking down objections, you're answering questions, you're sending them emails about, your case study, social proof, your most common questions that you get from your clients, and basically just giving them information that they need to make an informed decision before the call. That's really what you're doing in the educational emails. These are super important, especially if you're running ads at high volume, say you're spending a couple $1,000s a day. People absolutely love this. They love reading this. I've had people come to me and be like, oh, I love all those emails that you were sending. So it's absolutely essential that you do this, especially when you're starting out. And then on the SMS side, you're going to follow a manual process to reach out to prospects once they book in a call. And I'm going to walk in that in a second, but I want to kind of give you more details on the educational email side. So basically it's like, you're sending about 2 to 3 emails a day for the next 72 hours after they book in a call, right? So again, this is going to work with your calendar availability. So you're making sure that people are booking in within 3 or 5 days max, right? I like to keep it at 3 days, maybe a 4, but just 5 days max. So that you're sending emails to people before they come on the call. You don't want someone to book in a call, let's say next week or let's say 7 days after, because then by the time that they've come to the call, they probably not even most of the stuff that, you sent in the emails. So it's essential that you do it this way and you send emails for 72 hours, 2 to 3 emails every single day, right? And then on the SMS side, like I said, basically what we give our clients is we have a full SOP on how to follow up with people once they book in a call, because this is where a lot of people drop the ball. They don't have their backend dialed in. A lot of people just say, oh, my calendar is all set up and that means that I'm ready to go on my backend, right? I've seen a lot of people say this, but again, your calendar isn't your backend. It's just, a way for people to book in calls. It's a way for people to, get reminded of the call, but really that's not doing anything. Like if you want someone to show up to the call, they need to show up to the call for themselves. Like they need to know that they're going to get out of the call or they're not coming. So again, when we dial them on the phone or when we call them, first off, you want to send a text like, hey, it's brilliance, and you send that, and then you dial them immediately so that when you call, it's going to show up as maybe brilliance. And this works tremendously well with, iPhones, because a lot of people use iPhones. So you want to be sending, blue text so that when you send them that text and you dial them, it's going to show up as maybe brilliance. You want to do this. And then if they don't pick up, then you go ahead, send them a selfie video or maybe a voice note just introing yourself. And then, ask them questions, not selfish questions. Try to ask questions that they actually need, about things they need, what they want you to cover on the call, even if it's a webinar, what they want you to add to the deck. And all of this is going to increase your intent because again, you're making it personalized. And again, when you contact somebody and they give you a response, they are way more likely to show up. If someone never gives a response, then there's a very high chance that they don't show up, right? But when someone actually gives you a response, then they are way more likely to show up because now they don't want to feel like they let someone down. So you want to make sure you're doing this. You need to be manually following up, checking in with people 2 days before the call. You need to be checking in, sending resources, asking questions. When you do all these things, you're really going to increase the intent of people, and people love that. They love that you care about them and not just there to tell them, hey, are you going to show up to the call, right? So the next step here is going to be, your conversion optimized funnel. And this is our bread and butter. We absolutely love this. And this is where we actually got the entry point to even running ads for our clients. Now, our goal with the funnel here is to give people all of the information that they need to take action. I see a lot of people focus on intrigue and try to get people intrigued about the offer. That's the wrong thing to do, at least right now. What we see working right now is just be very direct, be clear, call out your audience, make sure you explain things, and just be direct and be benefit focused as well. Make sure that everything that you're doing with your copy on the landing page, especially the headline, like you're leading with the benefits. What did they get? What is the outcome of working with you or buying your service or your offer? Just make sure you're doing that. And the most important piece here is going to be your above the fold complex. So everything that they see once they land on the page, including your VSL, your headline, your CTAs, your social proof, that is the most important thing that you need to focus on, because that is what people see. It is guaranteed that people see this. And this is going to be structured based on the type of offer that you're running as well. If you're running an offer that needs more education, then you can go in and explain what the mechanism is and how it works. But if you are running an offer where it's more commoditized and people know what this offer inherently is, they understand the inherent value of the offer, then you can go into, your proof and what your offer is, and it's way more easier to do that. But again, if you're doing more educational stuff, then you can lean more into the mechanisms and actually explaining how your solution works. And then after someone books on a call, you're going to load your confirmation page with transparency videos, what we like to call them, and prospects absolutely love this one because it gives them all of the answers that they're looking for, because your prospects are almost the same. Everyone is going to have, a little bit of a different situation here and there, but for the most part, people are going to have the same questions. So what we want to do is record small videos anywhere from, a minute to even 3 minutes, sometimes even way less than that. And we want to answer questions so that when they come on the call, they're a lot more prepared. They have a lot more trust for you. That's so important because people only buy when there's a transfer of authority and trust. If they feel like they can trust you and also that you have the higher authority above them in that specific field, then they're going to buy from you. Right? So that's what you need to know about this. Again, a lot of people make the mistake of using the confirmation video to try to oversell the offer and basically try to get people to come on the call. But what you should be doing is telling people to use that page for research. That's really what it should be used for. And you're going to see your show rate go up, right? So again, that's it for this video. If you want my team and I to help you build out a fully conversion optimized funnel from start to finish, just click the link in the description, booking a call with me, and I'll see if and how we can help you, my friend. Take care. Cheers.